Do a parts check on our exhaust here. We got one muffler and two, what do you call it, header whatevers. And he wanted it loud, and boy howdy is this gonna get her done. We're gonna see how our Amazon exhaust pieces go here. It's pretty nice. It's really covered in oil. And hopefully there's another muffler floating around here somewhere. Looks like exhaust tubing to me.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
I like these little builder kits. With the price of exhaust shops, I found that I can give them a nicer job for cheaper, even without a bender. Because these are all nice mandrel bends instead of, you know, having all the crimps in it. So I'll see where our other muffler is and go from there. So Jarad built this new trans cross member. It's just beautiful. So we took out the old cross member because the humps, it had dual exhaust humps, but they are way too high, and we would have to take the exhaust under, and it would just be better for these headers for it to go over. So Jarad built this bitchin' trans cross member that's a lot simpler and a lot nicer, and that makes it to where we can take our exhaust over it. We do have one header pointed at the floor and one header pointed right into the trans mount, or the trans cross member mount. So we're gonna get those coming through here at the same spot and level, and then we'll go to our really loud mufflers. We got our inlet side here, so those will go in here, and we'll probably angle them a little bit, so then our exit will come out and come on below the floor here. But there's a dip in the floor here, this high spot here, that these mufflers can go up into. So that's kind of the idea. One of the mufflers didn't show up, so we have ordering another one of those. But this one's gonna have to turn down before here. It's gonna have to turn down somewhere in here. And then this one's gonna have to turn up somewhere in here. So we'll get our ones that have just a little bit of bend, and we'll try to use the same piece to go up and then level back out again. Well, those were kind of the hard bits of this exhaust, since we're just turning them down around here somewhere. But now with our bit of adjustment there, we got them coming out in the same spots on each side. So now we can go from there. Easy peasy, muffler squeezy, turn down tubey.
Gotta get away, 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 gotta get away from you. What do I do? What do I try when I know everything's just a lie? Did you ever really love me? Don't answer that, 'cause I got me free, 'cause now I know that I gotta get away from you. Gotta get away, 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 gotta get away from you. Now I'm sitting in my room, listening to expect to think about you. Drop that needle, ain't gonna cry, 'cause everything's gonna be alright, 'cause now I know that I gotta get away from you. Gotta get away, 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 gotta get away from you. Get away, away, gotta get 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 away, gotta.
So in the earlier video, you remember our fuel line battery cable combo. Now Jared's got this all neatly tucked, and that's our power, and then there's our fuel. You know, it's also kind of good to have this fuel line on the outside of the frame because it's just going to be warmer inside the frame here. You have the heat coming down from the motor, and it's supposed to angle off that firewall and come underneath. Well, the outside just isn't getting that heat, you know, so it'll run a little cooler out here. And as you remember, our fuel pump was in the middle. Fuel pumps don't like to pull or suck, they like to push. When they're pulling or sucking, you have more chance of air and you have more chance of the pump getting warm or hot. So now we have our fuel pump right here at the back. It's down, the bottom of the line is below fuel level here, which will help with the with it, you know, not having any air. Also help with that cooling. We put A&N style fitting and hard line down inside the tank. So now, what is this, 3/8?
Yeah.
Now we're running 3/8 fuel line from inside the tank all the way up. We're not choking it down to the smaller line right away. So this will help with our volume. It's not a pressure issue, it's a volume issue. If you got a choke point on that line, it's going to have a problem with volume, especially when you're going from smaller to bigger. It's going to want to have air in there again. Air is bad. So this is just going to be super functional. Have the bracket in there. We even have it tagged. That bracket hooks up to our bar here, and it has a this is like kind of a half piece that he made, and then it has the piece of rubber inside here to insulate that bracket to the pole there, or the bar for our coilovers here. So that's also going to make it to where you don't hear this as much in the car.
That's one of the big complaints on these electric pumps especially, is they're noisy. And if it's mounted directly to the frame, it resonates quite a bit. So between a couple of things in terms of the design, how it's hung like that, the tab itself will absorb some of the vibration, and then that hose will absorb another fair bit.
That volume is also going to help the noise.
Yeah.
You know, it's not doing that suck. It's not having to suck anything to get primed.
It's not straining.
Yeah, it's going to run quieter, cooler, and that mount's going to help that too.
Oh, and then the fuel pump fuse and relay, we've got that set up right here so that it's in a serviceable location. You can pull this down and check the fuse. Oh, there's the fuse. But that's another thing.
It's good.
That's another thing to think about when you are setting up an electric pump, is if something goes wrong and you're trying to look into it, where would someone start looking? And if it's tucked and hidden somewhere, there are so many people that'll throw a pump at something, not even knowing where the fuel pump relay is.
So the pump was here, his relay and fuse was here, and that was all wrapped onto the fuel line. It was just kind of a, I don't want to call it a recipe for disaster, but possibility of a fire, you know, and we're just going to eliminate that possibility. There's no reason for it. So this is just a lot cleaner, a lot safer, and really this car is, you know, it was built to a level, you know, and then those few things weren't at that level, like the fuel line and the power cable and the way the battery was in the box. Jared also did a really nice job of hooking that up. I'll show you that later. But you know, battery tie down, a few things, a maxi fuse on that main fuel or main power wire. You know, that main power wire, one of the tabs lets go or something and it lays on your exhaust. You know, there's now that fuse will pop instead of literally burning off all the sheathing on that wire, and then who knows what happens from there.
We also threw in a ground disconnect right here that's accessible, so if there were an electrical problem, whenever you put a trunk mount battery, it's usually covered up. It's usually not easy to get to, and trying to get terminals off real quick if there's a problem, it never works well. So this should be hidden under the bumper, but then you can still reach under and pick it off if you need to.
And that's on the negative, which I also like. Some people put them on the positive, and it's just, I don't dig it. The negative is nice. It shuts off power to the car, and it's also nice for storage. You know, if this is going to sit in the garage for X amount of months, you know, you can have your tender on the battery, you can have your battery shut off, and you shut off that battery, you have your tender plugged in, and store it over the winter or whatever, and there will be no worries when you go to start it up next year.
It's a killer setup.
Yeah, it really brought just these few things that we're doing is really bringing this car up to everything's kind of at I'd call it a good level, a good driver level. I wouldn't say this is a strict show car or anything like that, but I'd call it a high quality driver. The thing that would take this up to the next level would be a custom chassis. And so it's right there at high level driver with a factory chassis. And with the work that was done, I mean, it's a powder coated frame, powder coated Curry rear end.
9-inch on coilovers.
Yeah, you got coilovers. It's really set up to be fast in a straight line, really good for drag racing, burnouts. It would be a great car to do cookies in. I wouldn't call it a great handling car probably, but it does probably pretty good. I mean, you could probably use a sway bar in the front, but it has a steering rack upgrade. It has a sway bar in the rear, but you know, now that I mentioned it, I want to suggest a sway bar in the front. Having a sway bar in the rear, none in the front, is going to make it act a little weird. It's a really nice car. It's really well done. So bringing it up to that level is just nice.
Yeah. Within this caliber of car, anyone who is really going to spend any real money, if the little details aren't right, or there's a little bit of shaky stuff in terms of the last little bit, it really hurts value. You can see a $20,000 to $30,000 difference in something that's got good general components, but then has a couple things that aren't quite right, because it makes people suspect the rest of everything else.
Yeah.
And if it's just consistent quality throughout, it gives value back to all the really, really nice parts that are on the car.
And literally, we've been on it for 8 days. You know, we haven't spent much time on it, and I'd call the car just 100% better.
Yeah.
You know, it's really great.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be